Welcome back to Guitarlele Tutorials. In today's video, I'll be showing how to restring your guitarlele. So it will be a little bit longer video than the other ones. Restringing is a skill that you may have to perform over time because every 3 to 6 months strings get sloppy, and then you'll feel that and this time has come, so the tuning doesn't stick very longer, or you can hear buzz even without touching any notes. Like right now I am not touching the string, so I am just holding the head. The tuning may be okay, but whenever I'm playing some notes, there is a buzz itself. I don't know if you can listen to it or not, but if you listen properly, you'll feel that the strings are sloppy. They are not that good. Okay, so golden rule is every 3 to 6 months you change your strings. Okay, and or maybe you feel it when there is a need to change. This set of strings, these are cheap strings. I put it on, it lasted only for a month, maybe something like that. And there is one more indication that your strings need a change. I mean, the strings in the frets, they are corroded, they got rust and all, so they got rusty and all. So that's also a good indication that your strings need a change, right? So some of your strings will, right, for my this whole D string, I don't know how much it's visible to you guys. So the whole D string is actually rusted all over. So whole D string, the G string, and the top A string, and in the just where I strum on the sound hole, just above the sound hole, and also in these 2 and 3 frets. I'll show you the strings that I use, and I also recommend Detuning Classic silver plated wound clear nylon EJ27N. So you can see this one. There is 2 things that are mentioned. One is this classical guitar, and there is this normal tension. So classical guitar is written here, normal tension is written here. Okay, so these are the 2 things that are there. You can also go for high tension strings, but I would recommend, or I prefer to use with the normal tension strings, because normal tension strings, what happens is that they give a more sustain. So what do I mean by sustain is that when I'm playing a note and I'm leaving that, okay, so the sound comes little bit more, I mean, after I leave the string also. Okay, so this is called a sustain. So if you are getting a nylon normal tension string, so the sustain will be higher than a high tension one, right? So it is a little stiff also to play. Normal tensions are usually good on fingers, so you don't have to press harder for these strings. So that's the string that I am using, and I'll be also using one more thing that is handy for me. So it's called a pro winder. This is also from Detuning. So it comes with 2 to 3 tools altogether. One is it comes with a string cutter. Okay, so this is a really helpful thing. And this is one is the winder. So for uh, these are to easily rotate your tuning pegs, right? So otherwise it takes a longer time. So tune and detune, right now I'm detuning one actually. So yeah, you can use this one. I mean, it's not required, you can do it by hand also, but it takes a little more time to do by hand. So I mean, this tool is really helpful in that respect. So you just, okay, and your strings are getting loosened, right? So this is the second tool that I am using. Okay, I'll also show something. The Why am I detuning before I'm trying to cut the string is that these strings are in tension. Okay, so if you directly cut it without detuning, what may happen that it can, I mean, it can come and hit you on your face or somewhere else, and so that's really not a good way to get yourself hurt. so that's all. I got this thing detuned. Now the next thing, I usually keep all these things in my bag. I keep this tuner, I keep extra set of strings. It's always a good habit to carry an extra set of things, strings, by the way. So I'm now going to cut the older strings. So I'm going to cut it. Okay. So I got everything detuned and cut. All the strings are now cut, and now I'm taking them off out of these tuning pegs. So here one, all done. So 6 from the top, and 6 you have to also take from the bottom as well. Oh my god, the saddle got dropped. So yeah, one thing is that whenever you are unstringing or restringing, or whenever you are taking your strings off, check the knots, right? How it is being knotted. I'll show you how actually I'm doing it once again. But yeah, always keep an eye, or keep a photo, keep a snap how it was earlier. I now got rid of all the old strings. Okay, as you can see, the very next thing that I'll do is I'll apply some lemon oil to the fretboard. I mean, it's good habit, and you should also do that, right? And this is not only for Guitalele specific. It's usually recommended for ukulele, guitar. I have seen that players do that. And fretboard is something that gets hard over time. It loses its shine. Whenever you're changing your strings, you should basically apply some lemon oil. So this lemon oil, it's from Dunlop 65. I mean, it's one that's coming with good review, and I have also seen other people using it. This is a little costlier. I think this one costed me around 500. I'm not sure, but don't worry, this is one thing that will last you for a longer time, very long time. I am using it on my ukulele as well. So yeah, here is my ukulele, and I am using the oil on the same oil on my ukulele as well. So if you can see that, yeah, it's maintaining its shine. It comes with a dab on, so you won't spill it. Generously put some oil on the fretboard. Okay. Okay, I'm done applying lemon oil on my fretboard, on the Guitarlele fretboard. So usual recommendation is that you leave it for 2 to 4 hours, so that the extra oil that's there, it's get away, and then you wipe it out. So I'm leaving it now for quite some time, and I'll come back and I'll string this again, restring this again, right? So I'm back, and now you can see that many of the and most of the oil has been soaked up. And what I did is that I took a cloth. Usually these are soft cloths that comes with spectacles to clean the spectacles, right? Or you can buy some of the mesh cloths, whatever you want. Okay, so I just simply remove the, I mean, wipe out the extra oil. Now it's time to open this. Okay, let's see what's inside, right? So set of strings. So okay, and it comes with really good packaging, so that your thing doesn't get messed up and corroded and something like that doesn't happen with your string. Here comes the strings. They got some markings. The color marking is there. Yeah, there is some color marking. I forgot to mention one thing. So I am buying classical guitar string. You may have noticed why I am buying classical guitar strings, right? So actually the thing is, Guitalele is a stripped down version of classical guitar. Many of you might be knowing this fact, many of you might not know. So yeah, Guitalele is a stripped down version of classical guitar. Classical guitar comes with tuning of E, A, D, G, B, E. Eddie at Dynamite, goodbye Eddie. So that's why if you see the string mentioned here as well, so you will get E, B, G, D, A, E. Okay, so from string 1 to string 6, right? So they mentioned as E, B, G, D, A, E. Okay, or if we count from, that's what I do. So E, A, D, G, B, E. On your classical guitar, if you capo, right, if you put a capo on your 5th fret in classical guitar, if you have a classical guitar, by the way, try this out and it will be a Guitalele, right? The only thing is that Guitalele body, this body is a little smaller than classical guitar. So why, and the fretboards, I mean, yeah, if you put a capo on classical guitar 5th fret, the fretboard also will be to some extent similar. When we will be talking about music theory and how those things work, you can check them out, right? Maybe you are thinking why we are using classical guitar strings. Maybe you got your answer. Aquila actually makes guitars Guilele strings, so they call it Guilele strings, specific to Guitalele. So you can try them out as well. Okay, now the color codes. The yellow one is the thinnest yellow one. I had one yellow. So yellow marking, this is green and this is the yellow one. Okay, so I mean they have placed very small here, so I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I think you can see it now. So this is green, yellow mark, right? So what I have to do is I'll put it into the 6th, sorry, in the 1st block. Now I got the saddle and I put it on in its place. This is the string. I'll start with the biggest, thickest string, right? The thickest string, and this should be of what color? What color? What color they are mentioning for the thickest string? It's silver. I can't find any marking here, so but no marking in it. So I'll try to eliminate others, and then maybe I'll be able to find out the E string, the low E string. And the second one is the red. So I got one red, I remember. Why am I trying to, yeah, this I got silver, man. This is not silver. This is black. So this is black. This is 4th string and this is black. I figured out all the strings. So let me start from the thickest one now. So this is the thickest one, it seems. And so that will be the topmost string. Okay, I kept some extra and checking the length. At the length obviously should be more than sufficient, because you are. So now what you have to do is make a knot kind of stuff. You make a knot here. So how the knot will look like. So one turn into this. Okay, keep it inside, put it inside. Okay, okay, put it inside, and then apply a second knot, second turn, and your knot should be complete. Okay, and you should leave this extra string here. We'll be requiring that extra string Okay, so now you can see we are getting some kind of knot. So knot is not completely fully prepared now, because we are not putting tension into the other end. Until and unless we put some tension on the other end, the knot will not be formed properly. Okay, so you can't see it. I'm trying to. Okay, so the knot is there. I'm putting some, and the extra part, right? So what are we going to do with the extra part? I mentioned that you should keep that extra. Okay, so now this is the red string, and it should go to the second hole. Now, why making a second knot here? What you are going to do is that when you are making the second knot, na, at that time you in you insert the extra from the first knot, just to make things a little secure. Okay, so that your strings are getting extra security, that it doesn't get pulled out or something like that. Okay, don't cut the ends until and unless all your stringing and your tuning is complete. I mean, I made that mistake once, and I had to pay a fine of restringing it again. You may have thought we always put the string ends to the next string. Now what happens with the first string, right? So what happens to the end of this string? So we'll simply put it into the reverse. We'll do a reverse string. So now all strings are put here. I mean, all strings are kept here, and we are putting it into the tuning pegs one by one. So I'm not tuning it all the way right now. Okay, I'm just tuning. I'm just securing the other end to the nut. Okay, so I'm just securing the other end to the nut. I'm using pro winder here as well, right? So try to do one thing if possible. So you insert the string into one hole, okay, and take a round and insert it again into the same hole, so that it gets locked and secured. So my one of my string is done. Going for the second one, so I'm simply putting, and also make sure that you are maintaining the gap from the nut, right, so that each string is retaining it in its position, and the equidistantly they are following each other. So just secure the strings for now. You are anyways going to use the pro winder tool to get these things secure and get these strings tuned, and whenever you will be tuning, your knots will get tightened. It looks terrible. Okay, before tuning, if you see, it looks like this. Okay, now I'm using the Pro Winder tool. Yeah, to some extent it's there. So let me do for the second one. Okay, so now I think it's still not the right time to cut the strings, but yeah, we have to cut it at some point. Right. So it seems quite good to my ears. So I'm chopping down the extra strings from this end and the other end, from both the ends. Leave some if required. So leave some, cut the rest. I'm cutting extra from the bridge and saddle side as well. Okay. If you leave the ends that touches your hand, especially with the thickest strings, so if you leave something open, uh, it really hurts, and it gets you cut. Okay, now time to tune. This video is already too long, so you can check the tuning video here. Sorry, it's a long video, but I think having the knowledge of how to restringing your instrument is really a good one to have. So yeah, because you are not going to spend money every time going to shop every 3 to 6 months, right? So you can do that. I mean, many people do that. The second thing is, sometimes what happens is that your strings get snapped in between, right? So in between some playing or some practice sessions, you're not going to take your Guitalele at that time to the store, right? It will take some time, so eventually you'll lose some time. So always have this knowledge of restringing your ukulele. If there is major difficulty you're facing with, of course you should go to the store, right? But for just for changing strings, I really don't think it's worth that much. So yeah, that's all. Hope we meet in the next lessons or maybe the next session.